When I was a division commander of the 2nd Infantry Division in South Korea, I noticed something different, and that is in every South Korean yard, there are vegetables growing. You see, the South Koreans have a different perspective on space than we do. They have a smaller country. They understand the concept of resiliency and sustainability. You see, they've been at war, and they must always be prepared to live with war. We used to be that way in America. Our early settlers worked themselves to the bone to create enough food and energy, fuel to last through the winter. But they survived and they thrived. And in the mid-50s, growing up in a place called Lakeland, Louisiana, in a family of 12, it wasn't a question of if the lights were going to go out, it was when. We never worried about having enough money because we never had enough money. We raised the food we ate, and we kept a roof on our heads. We were resilient, and we survived. And you know what? If you look around today, America, you think you might be a lot different than the subsistence farmers in Lakeland or the earliest settlers. You know what? You're not. You might be a little more insulated from certain natural disasters, but not by much. Think about this. Close your eyes. Visualize a storm coming in. And it turned the power out for 2 weeks. And then the water get contaminated. And within 2.5 weeks' time, you're back living like a settler. Close your eyes. Thank you. Because this part is really important. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the things we are doing to the environment is far worse than what's happening as a result of storms and hurricanes and blizzards. Our environment is in trouble. And some of it is created by climate change. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get tougher before it gets better. When you look at the concept of rising sea levels and the increased need for energy and growing population and a need for more food on less arable land with more droughts, the damage that we are doing is slow and it's permanent. We must take this on. We must learn to be resilient. In order to deal with this, we're going to have to do 3 things. We're going to have to be resilient individuals, resilient citizens, and resilient leaders. This is not an option. Resilient individuals understand they have to be ready for the wrath of Mother Nature. We know that in Louisiana. Resilient individuals spend more time getting ready for hurricane season than they do football season. Resilient individuals know the value of helping neighbors and reaching out to neighbors when the power go out. And people that live in the community that don't have the ability to take care of themselves. And that leads resilient individuals to become resilient citizens who get involved in the community and the things that's happening around them. You know, in Louisiana, we live in a very unique place to develop resilient citizens. Our coastline is disappearing, and it can be measured by the hour, not the year. Our air is some of the worst in America. And many of the industries we have create high rates of cancer among our people. We don't have an option to wait till later. We must act now, because the future that we fear is here. The future that we fear is here. We cannot wait for someone else to solve this. No one else will solve this but us. We must save ourselves. The damage is slow, and it's global, and it's permanent. The significance of this hour for us to act now cannot be overstated. To endure, we will have to be resilient individuals, resilient citizens, and resilient leaders. Resilient individuals understand they must prepare and be ready for when the storm comes. And they help their neighbors. And as they get involved, they become resilient citizens. Resilient citizens understand the importance of working as a community. But as we work together as citizens, and we are the first line of defense, you see, resilient citizens understand that every generation has a war. And our war in this generation is to save our environment. And you know what? This war is happening everywhere and we're losing. We must become resilient. Once we become resilient and we organize our communities, we reach out to find resilient leaders. Leaders that will take and help solve some of the most difficult issues in the community. While our resilient citizens are our first line of defense, and they do things like conserve electricity. Don't use styrofoam. Hint, hint. Don't use styrofoam. They wean themselves off of plastic bags. And they recycle. And they walk where they can as opposed to driving. And they recycle and they recycle and they recycle. But ladies and gentlemen, resilient leaders take on the bigger issues. One of them is we create a lot of garbage in America. Much of it is being buried or it's ending up in the ocean. We've got to fix that. Resilient leaders in place just like on this campus right here and many others will find a solution to take that garbage and create energy out of it that can run plants and put people to work and create jobs. Resilient leaders work on the local problems, and by solving those problems, create jobs and create energy and solve local problems. I have a vision and a dream that somebody in this audience on this campus will create an operative, movable generator that can be used when the power go out and run your home for a month. All you do is plug it in. Because you see, when we solve that problem for Hurricanes Rita, Katrina, Wilma, we'll solve a problem for 2 billion people in the world that don't have electricity. Over 500 million alone in Africa without electricity. When we solve this problem and create this generator, we will change the world as we know it. We will change the world. We don't have an option. The time is now. What are you going to do as a citizen to become resilient? What are you going to do to preserve future generations so they have access to clean air and clean water? We have to be innovative. We have to capture the spirit of Benjamin Franklin, the spirit of innovation, to solve these issues that are associated with clean air and clean water. By doing so, we create jobs. We create technology that the rest of the world can use. I challenge you to be resilient. First, be a resilient individual. Be a resilient citizen. And if you have it in you, be a resilient leader. The world is waiting on you. Thank you very much.